Let's head to the book of Genesis chapter 22. And Abraham is faced up against his most difficult, most formidable challenge, the last of the 10 trials. Akedat Yitzchak, he is asked to display a readiness and a willingness to sacrifice his dear and beloved son, his natural son born to him by his beloved wife Sarah, to sacrifice him on an altar, to give him over to God. And he doesn't hesitate, not in the slightest. With alacrity, with admirable zeal, Abraham goes ahead and he demonstrates their willingness and their readiness to sacrifice his son, to give him over as a sacrifice to his beloved God. And there he goes and passes this test with flying colors. And we're all sitting back saying, okay, that's it. We're ready for him to get his just reward. You know what? God is going to send him to the Bahamas. He'll give him all the Sports Illustrated's, Harry Potter's, whatever he wants, a 6-pack of Heineken, give him a hammock, and let him take a chill, let him relax for the rest of his life. It must be. God, he did everything he asked him to do. He gave him 10 tests. He passed each and every one with flying colors. He's ready to receive his just desert, his reward. And yet we turn the page in the book, in God's Torah and Scriptures, we turn the page and there it is, year after year. Right after that incident of Abraham passing his final test of Akedat Yitzchak, of showing the willingness to give over his son to God himself, what happens? God says, I'm going to take away your wife. And the very next Torah reading is that he loses his dear and beloved Sarah. And then he has to get into an ordeal, into a predicament of dealing with the nefarious, with the wicked Ephron, and just in order to secure the appropriate burial plot for his beloved wife. God, this is how you reward your beloved Abraham? This is, come on, he did everything you asked him to do. Give him a nice island, give him beautiful weather, and let him relax and take it easy for the rest of his life. And you know why God didn't do that? Because through his loyal servant Abraham, God is teaching us a very important lesson. We're faced up against constant vicissitudes, ups and downs, waxing and waning on the spiritual ladder of life. Sometimes things are great and we're doing great. We're climbing the ladder of spirituality, but sometimes things aren't looking so great. But when we do great, we're ready to say, okay, God, hand me my just desert. And you know what? Sometimes God reciprocates, not by giving us a reward, but by giving us what we perceive at the outset to be, if anything, a punishment. God is teaching us through Abraham that the final one of his 10 trials wasn't just sacrificing his son on the altar. The last test, and many of the commentators, when they enumerate the 10 tests, they even write that the last test was how he was going to cope and deal with the death, with the untimely demise of his dear wife Sarah, and then having to go through the ordeal and predicament of securing her the right burial ground. Because God is showing us through Abraham, life never ends. It's struggle after struggle, ordeal after ordeal, because God says you can attain yet greater heights, constantly climbing the ladder of spirituality. You'll get your reward. Don't worry, you'll get in the afterlife, in the next world. I'll try and make things comfortable here too. But don't ever think that you get to a certain point in spirituality, or you could say, I'm going to take it easy, I'm going to coast. Okay, God, I did what you wanted. I passed the test. Let me enjoy life now. There's no such concept in Judaism. Always have to be striving, growing. And sometimes God gives us scenarios to do just that. Abraham succeeded. Let us hopefully, with a lot of heavenly assistance, succeed as well, and passing all the tests and trials of our lives and using them to get even closer to God than ever before.